I also want to say that I really hate how women are seen as property. I don't agree with it. I don't approve of it. I don't want that to be the case. But I feel like everything has a spiritual, deeper meaning. I am connected to this whole timeline and the reason why it is the way that it is, even though a lot of it is not what I agree with. I feel like people are deliberately winding me up just so that I can see faults and then complain about the faults so that you could hopefully fix it. But at the same time, I feel like there are faults for a reason. And, something like women being possessions of men is, I think it's disgusting and it's horrible and I don't agree with it. But at the same time, there is good in it. And the good in that is that, I am God, I am Christ. And I don't want to take responsibility for this world. This world is horrible and this is not how I wanted it to be. I don't know how it's got to the point that it has, and it's just I know how it is. I know that the reason why is because there's 7 billion, no, 9 billion souls, 7 billion that are alive, 9 billion, probably including the ones that are waiting for a new body, and you have to create a timeline that helps give every soul a chance and puts the correct souls in the. I'm sure there are some new ones that haven't had much of a chance, but there are also some ones that just have 10 lives and are still Islamic. They've but at the same time they might have developed skills that can make them smart and are in Islamic countries rich, with the power to do what they want for a reason. There's good and bad in everything, and it's hard to insult anything because there's good and bad in everything. And you know, I hate the idea of women being possessions, but at the same time, I also hate the idea of taking responsibility for the world being in the state that it's in. And as a woman, if the majority of the world see women as a possession, well, the good thing about being a possession is that you can't blame the possession for what's about to happen or things that are happening. You blame the owner, you don't blame the possession. And yeah, you can blame my higher self, but at the same time, you can't kill my higher self or hurt my higher self because she's going to be for me the whole timeline, and you can't get to her, whereas you can get to me. And therefore, if people see me as a possession rather than a something that's making the decisions, then there is something good to that because I don't want to be, I don't want to, I don't want to suffer. I feel like I have in huge amounts of ways. And I don't know still who knows and when they found out and what they knew and what they were thinking. But there's always a bigger picture, and I have to always look at the bigger picture. Um, and it's easier for lots of people to look at the bigger picture, hence why God the Father, or just the Father, the difference being God the Father being people that think that they are God versus people who know that I'm God and still want to control. If they want to see me as a possession, I feel like in a way I am. If I'm the one that's sort of inspiring the whole timeline, and if people are doing things because of me, even though they don't realize it themselves, or promoting the Father. If people are going on about how amazing God the Father is, really all they're doing is promoting world governments and world leaders. They don't realize it. They don't realize what they're actually saying. But I know what they're saying. They don't. Their subconscious knows what they're saying, and it's to give the world leaders the power. Why? Because they're the ones that can do things. They're the ones with the money. They're the ones with who can make the decisions. The people that have the money are the ones that can make the decisions. And the matrix is very complicated, but has chosen the right people to be put in the right places. And even if the right people at the top are evil, I think the more evil the people at the top are, the more people that might be killed from this. But at the same time, I feel like that's maybe what needs to happen if to fix the world, and to make it better. I don't want people to live in something that looks like a dustbin. And I do care about the people at the bottom, but I also feel like a lot of them will be happier being an animal or something. You won't have to stress over all the problems and the confusion. And being human is very complicated and hard. And yeah, there's good and bad in everything. And um, just trying to see the positives and hope for the best.